this Republic Day, when India marks and celebrates the date on which their constitution came into effect, I'd like to bring to light the government's commitment to religious freedom, enshrined in Articles 15 and 25 of its constitution. Unfortunately, religious freedom conditions in India have been deteriorating at a rapid pace in recent years. Since 2014, the BJP-led Indian government has increasingly institutionalized its ideological vision of a Hindu state at both the national and state levels through a foundation of laws and structural changes hostile to the country's religious minorities, which include Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Dalits, and Adivasis. For this reason, since 2020, USCIRF has recommended that the State Department designate India as a country of particular concern, or a CPC, for engaging in and tolerating systematic, ongoing, and egregious violations of religious freedom, as defined by the International Religious Freedom Act of 1998. Some of our key concerns that led to this recommendation include the passage of the Discriminatory Citizenship Amendment Act, or the CAA, in December of 2019. While the CAA is said to benefit religious minorities, including Christians, Hindus, and Sikhs, from neighboring Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, the reality is that the CAA, in conjunction with the proposed National Register of Citizens, requiring all residents to provide documentation of citizenship, could subject Muslims in particular to statelessness, deportation, and prolonged detention. Another set of policies raising significant concerns, and too often resulting in violence, are efforts to prohibit interfaith marriages or relationships between consenting adults using the false narrative of forced conversion. These laws deny Indian citizens the right to freedom of religion or belief and severely restrict the rights of women to choose their partner. Since 2014, Hindu nationalist groups have launched inflammatory campaigns decrying interfaith relationships, including calling for censorship of media depictions of these relationships. The campaigns targeting and delegitimizing interfaith relationships have led to attacks and arrests of non-Hindus and violence towards any interfaith interaction. Violence has particularly plagued states in India where anti-conversion and cow slaughter laws have been passed and implemented. Mobs sympathetic with Hindu nationalism acted with impunity and at times were assisted by authorities, even police, in targeting religious minorities in places of worship. Sectarian violence is enabled by hate speech and disinformation propelled by government officials. We're also concerned about the closing space for civil society through the misuse of various laws, such as the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, the FCRA, and the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, or the UAPA. Civil society lacks the freedom to document or raise their voices against gross human rights and religious freedom violations due to the application of these laws. Numerous organizations that document religious freedom violations or aid marginalized religious communities have been forced to shut down operations in India under the FCRA. At the end of 2021, the Indian government moved to cut off foreign funding to nearly 6,000 organizations, including Mother Teresa's organization, the Missionaries of Charity, Oxfam India, and Jamia Millia Islamia, and refused to renew their licenses under the FCRA. Although the Indian government restored the registration of Missionaries of Charity, thousands of organizations and institutions that support religious minorities still face the threat of closure in India. Many journalists and human rights activists who report or even comment on the deteriorating religious freedom conditions in India are unfairly charged under the UAPA. The UAPA was used to incriminate the late Jesuit priest Father Stan Swami, who died in 2021 while in prison on unsubstantiated charges, and Karam Perez, a Muslim and prominent rights activist, was charged under the UAPA for reporting on abuses in the Muslim-majority state of Jammu and Kashmir. USCIRF urges India and all Indians celebrating Republic Day to reflect on the principled commitments made in their constitution. We stand with the people of India to be able to access their constitutional right of freedom of religion or belief. I thank the Indian American Muslim Council for inviting me to speak here today.